I'm Ariana. Nice to meet you. I'm a fresh pair of eyes.
Hey, hey, what's up?
Not too much, just talking to you. So, uh, do you remember where you were when Katrina hit and how you were feeling?
Yeah, I was in grad school and I was feeling most like America, just in complete shock and kind of really disbelief and, feeling for the people of New Orleans at the time for sure.
And what attracted you to this role?
I didn't know anything about the project. And so when I first got the audition, that was like my introduction to the character and the story. And after my audition and after I found I got the role, I was ecstatic, obviously. And that kind of began my journey of really researching and reading the book and just finding out more information about the story and my character.
For sure. And other than reading the book, how did you prepare for this role of Dr. Bryant King?
Yeah, I've other articles on the internet, other news coverings on the internet, a lot of internet stuff, and also working with my acting coach, and just kind of really sitting with it and piecing together of how best to really find the authenticity of the character.
For sure. And when you were doing this research and filming the show and within this role, what was kind of the most shocking thing that you found out about Katrina that you didn't know before?
The most shocking thing that I found out about Katrina. I mean, honestly, everything was shocking because outside of what I saw on the news coverages across America, that's that that sadly was like the only information that I had. I had not like done any additional like investigative work on my own to kind of figure out or know what happened specifically where. And so really at every turn was kind of a shocking revelation for me of like, like, wow, this really happened. And, to be in a building with no power, like, how does that, oh, the levees broke. What are levees? Oh, didn't know, New Orleans set. I guess I knew, but, a lot of the imagery, some of the scenes in the series kind of just really helped me kind of visualize like the landscape of New Orleans and kind of what that looks like, and how it can flood clearly. And so a lot of things were just really new for me, and which made it for a really humbling experience to explore.
For sure. And it was a different time with social media. It was kind of basically only like Facebook and MySpace. You don't get kind of the live footage from people going through it. It's very much filtered from the news and kind of the limited amount of stations that were available at that time.
Right.
For sure. And how would you describe your character's mindset while he was in the hospital? Because everyone's reacting differently.
Yeah. I mean, mindset. African American male, doctor in a hospital that he's relatively new at. So new people, new politics, new circumstances, new opinions, new perspectives to kind of deal with and navigate. And so I think for anybody, that can be exciting or terrifying, depending on the person. But when you add the um, the circumstances of the hurricane on top of all of that, um, I think you, as you see in the series, it just makes for a really kind of compelling story and narrative to follow.
For sure. And your character at the moment while in the hospital seems to be the only person addressing the very obvious elephant of the room of race and how poorly people are being treated, and even how your character is being treated. Sometimes he's not even talked directly to, even though he is a doctor and in charge of his patients. Why do you think this character was the one and kind of only person at that time within the show calling out the race issue?
Um, I think, I think, I think maybe because, and I'm not sure. I mean, that's the that's the hard answer, is I don't know. Um, but I think he speaks to, you can only speak to what you personally see and what you experience, and it has to kind of come through that lens. And so because he is an African American doctor and he is new, that's kind of what his perspective and experience is based on. That's how he's living his life. That's his experience. And so you can only speak to what you know. And at the time and given those circumstances, I think that's what we really see everybody doing. And what you know is really a collaboration of really, I think, where you're from and how you were raised. And that's a part of what you know and just who you are. And so we kind of see who he is and how he navigates through that. And he speaks to, in a way, like I said, he speaks to what he's experiencing in the moment. And fortunately and unfortunately, race played a big factor in those moments of his life.
What would you say was the most challenging scene to shoot?
Challenging scene to shoot. Um, it's it wasn't challenging, but the most kind of, I think, exciting, I'll use, not the most exciting, because everything, like, there's so many exciting things in this series to be able to play as an actor, but it's the moment when my character gets into it with Adepero's character, the nurse. Oh my gosh, forgetting her name. Nurse
Karen.
Karen. My
Karen.
goodness. Gosh, forgive me. But when Dr. King and Nurse Karen, when we kind of have that exchange just about, you get a glimpse of, like, hey, we may be the same race, we both may be Black, but we don't necessarily think and process things the same way. We're not always on the same page just because we happen to be the same race. And so I think anytime we can kind of have those nuanced discussions, or a glimpse to that reality, I think it's really powerful.
For sure. And even though the show and those events were set 17 years ago, I've talked to the other actors and they've said that John Ridley had mentioned that Mark Twain quote about how history doesn't repeat itself, it's rhyme. How is it like shooting this show and all the gaps and the negligence that was happening to people of color, seeing that and filming this now after or still during how COVID has affected people of color, and even the Uvalde shooting, how people of color are often abandoned and not prioritized during emergency situations? How was it like to shoot that now?
It was, I mean, I think the interesting thing is that, our job was to retell this story as best we can from an authentic place. And because it's coming from an authentic place and it actually happened, there is automatically a through line to the present, because there are things just from a systematic standpoint that just have not changed, and that we are kind of continuing to fight to change. And just recently, took a couple steps back, today. And so I think it's, I don't think it's one thing in particular, because I think it's the whole that kind of needs to be addressed. And until that happens, we're going to kind of see that continued through line of past, present, and future. And so, it's one of those things that, I kind of have to just be grateful for the opportunity to tell from a creative standpoint as an actor, but also realize the impact that we are having in telling this story, in one, educating people, but also two, in just hopefully stirring up some inner searching to really not only highlight but bring some change forth worthwhile.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and congrats on this project and future projects.
All right. Thank you so much.